Sometimes, the most powerful things come from the quietest places. They don't announce themselves with a loud roar or a show of force. Instead, they grow slowly, carefully in the shadows, waiting for the right moment to reveal their strength. This is the story of Wing Chun. It is a martial art born not of aggression but of necessity. It is a system designed for a smaller person to overcome a larger, stronger opponent. Its history is a tapestry woven with legend, rebellion, and a deep understanding of the human body. It is a journey that begins centuries ago, in a time of great upheaval in China. The exact origins of Wing Chun are often debated, whispered in training halls from one generation to the next. Most stories place its birth in the Qing dynasty, a period when the ruling Manchus had overthrown the native Han Chinese Ming dynasty. This was a time of resistance, of secret societies and rebels hiding in the mountains and monasteries. It was in this cauldron of conflict that a new way of fighting was conceived, a way that did not rely on brute strength or athletic prowess, a way that was efficient, direct, and devastatingly effective. This was the seed from which Wing Chun would eventually blossom into a world-renowned art. Unlike many martial arts that have long documented lineages stretching back through imperial courts, Wing Chun's history is more personal, more intimate. It was passed down from teacher to student, often in secret, to protect its practitioners from the ruling authorities. The art was refined and tested not in grand tournaments, but in the close quarters reality of self-defense. It was a practical tool for survival, a shield for the common person. This secretive nature means that much of its early history is shrouded in mystery, pieced together from oral traditions and the stories of the masters who carried the art forward through time. This air of mystery is part of what makes Wing Chun so fascinating. It wasn't developed for sport or for performance. It was created for one purpose: self-preservation. It is a system that values intelligence over muscle and timing over speed. It teaches that the softest path can overcome the hardest force. As we look back on this day, September 11th, 2025, we are often reminded of how unexpected events can shape our world. In a similar way, the story of Wing Chun is a reminder that great strength can emerge from the most unexpected of circumstances, offering a path to empowerment and peace in a turbulent world. Every great story needs a hero. For Wing Chun, that story begins with a Buddhist nun named Ng Mui. She was said to be one of the 5 elders, legendary masters who survived the destruction of the Shaolin Temple. The temple, a supposed haven for rebels, was burned down by the Qing government. Ng Mui escaped and took refuge in the remote Daliang Mountains. There she dedicated her time to meditation and the refinement of her martial arts. She was a master of the Shaolin systems, but she felt they were too complex, too reliant on physical power. She sought something new. The legend says that Ng Mui was inspired by watching a fight between a snake and a crane. She observed how the crane used its wings to deflect the snake's direct attacks while simultaneously striking with its beak. She saw how the snake would fluidly evade and counterattack from different angles. This observation sparked an idea. She began to develop a new system based on these principles. A system that used angles and structure, not force against force. It was a system that emphasized simultaneous blocking and striking. A concept that would become a hallmark of her new creation. The art needed a student, a person to carry it into the world. That person was a young woman named Yim Wing Chun, which means beautiful springtime. She was a local girl who was being forced into a marriage with a brutish local warlord. Yim Wing Chun was troubled and had no way to defend herself against this powerful man. Ng Mui saw her plight and decided to teach her the new, unnamed martial art. She took the young woman under her wing, training her day and night, instilling in her the principles of efficiency and directness that she had discovered. After a period of intense training, Yim Wing Chun was ready. She returned to her village and challenged the warlord to a fight. He laughed, seeing only a small woman before him. But his laughter soon turned to shock. Using the techniques taught to her by Ng Mui, Yim Wing Chun easily defeated the much larger and stronger man. She used his own force against him, deflecting his clumsy attacks and striking with pinpoint precision. She won her freedom, and in her honor Ng Mui named the art Wing Chun Quen, or Wing Chun Fist. And so the art began its journey, named for the first student who proved its worth. At the very center of Wing Chun lies a simple yet profound idea. The shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. This is more than just a rule of geometry. It is the guiding philosophy for every movement in the art. Wing Chun is not about flashy circular motions or high acrobatic kicks. It is about economy of motion. Why waste energy on a long looping punch when a short direct one will reach the target faster and with just as much power? This principle, known as the centerline theory, is fundamental. The centerline is an imaginary line running down the middle of your body where all your vital targets are located. The goal is to always protect your own centerline while attacking your opponents. Another core principle is the idea of using the opponent's force against them. A Wing Chun practitioner does not try to meet a powerful strike with an equally powerful block. That would be a contest of strength, a contest a smaller person is likely to lose. Instead, they learn to redirect the incoming force. They yield, absorb the energy of the attack, and guide it away harmlessly. This is not a passive act. As the opponent's attack is being redirected, the Wing Chun fighter is already launching their own counterattack. This concept of simultaneous blocking and striking is what makes the art so efficient and surprising in a real confrontation. The art also teaches the importance of structure over strength. Your body is a collection of levers and joints. By aligning your bones correctly, you can create a powerful structure that can withstand great force without relying on muscular tension. Think of a bridge. It is the design and structure that allows it to support immense weight, not the raw strength of its materials alone. Wing Chun practitioners train to maintain this structure at all times, whether they are attacking or defending. This allows them to generate explosive power from a short distance and remain stable even when under pressure from a larger adversary. Finally, Wing Chun is guided by a mindset of calm and control. It is often called a thinking person's martial art. Students are taught to remain relaxed, both mentally and physically, even in a stressful situation. Tension slows you down and wastes energy. A relaxed mind can process information faster, allowing you to react instinctively and appropriately to an opponent's movements. This philosophy extends beyond fighting. It teaches a way of approaching life's challenges with composure, using intelligence and strategy to overcome obstacles rather than brute force. It is a path to inner peace as much as it is a method of self-defense. When you first see Wing Chun in action, it might not look as spectacular as other martial arts. There are no spinning kicks or theatrical poses. The movements are small, contained, and incredibly fast. One of the most iconic techniques is the straight-line punch. It travels directly from the practitioner's chest to the target, with the elbow kept down and close to the body. This is not just for speed, it also protects the fighter's ribs from attack. These punches are often thrown in rapid succession, like a sewing machine, overwhelming an opponent with a barrage of strikes before they even have a chance to react. Another unique aspect is the sticking hands exercise, known as Chi Sao. This is not sparring, but a training drill that develops incredible sensitivity. Two partners maintain contact with their arms, learning to feel their opponent's intentions through touch. It teaches them to sense the direction, force, and momentum of an attack almost before it happens. Chi Sao trains the reflexes to respond automatically without the need for conscious thought. It is a conversation through touch, a dynamic flow of energy, where students learn to control the space between them and their partner, redirecting force and finding openings for attack. The stances in Wing Chun are also very distinctive. The primary training stance, Yi Ji Kim Yung Ma, is very narrow and high. The practitioner's knees are bent and pointed inward, creating a strong triangular base. This stance allows for quick, stable movement in any direction without having to shift weight dramatically. It keeps the body's structure aligned and rooted to the ground, allowing power to be generated from the legs and hips and channeled through the arms. While it may look unusual, this stance is key to developing the structural integrity and explosive short-range power that Wing Chun is known for. Wing Chun's arsenal also includes low kicks, aimed primarily at the opponent's knees and shins. These kicks are not designed to be powerful knockout blows. Instead, they are used to disrupt the opponent's balance, break their structure, and immobilize them. Like the hand techniques, the kicks follow the principle of economy of motion. They are fast, direct, and never rise above the waist. This keeps the practitioner stable and less vulnerable to being taken down. Every technique, from the punches to the kicks to the stances, is designed to work together as part of a single, cohesive system built for ruthless efficiency. Many martial arts are beautiful to watch. They feature wide, powerful movements, acrobatic leaps, and complex forms that, well, kind of resemble a dance. Think of the sweeping kicks of Taekwondo, or maybe the flowing circular blocks of some styles of Kung Fu. Wing Chun, though, takes a different path. It is built for close-range combat, for the chaos of a real-life confrontation in a narrow hallway or, a crowded street. It is not a sport designed for a ring or a large mat. Its focus on efficiency means there are no wasted movements. Every action has a purpose: to defend and counterattack in the most direct way possible. The concept of force is also treated differently. In many hard martial arts, the goal is to meet force with force. A powerful punch is met with a powerful block. This often becomes a contest of who is stronger or who can endure more punishment. Wing Chun, however, is considered a soft art. It does not oppose force directly. Instead, it yields, redirects, and borrows the opponent's energy. Imagine someone pushing on a swinging door. If you push back, it becomes a struggle, but if you simply let the door swing and guide it, you control its movement with very little effort. This is the essence of Wing Chun's approach to defense. Training methods also highlight the differences. While many arts spend a great deal of time on solo forms and conditioning exercises to build muscle and endurance, Wing Chun places a heavy emphasis on partner drills like Chi Sao. This is because the art is based on feeling and reacting to an opponent's energy. You cannot learn this sensitivity by punching the air or lifting weights alone. You must have a partner. This focus on tactile feedback and reflexive response is a key differentiator, training the body to react intelligently and automatically in the heat of a moment. Finally, the philosophy itself sets Wing Chun apart. It was not designed for emperors or soldiers on a battlefield. According to legend, it was created by a nun for a young woman to defend her honor. It is an art of the people, an equalizer. It empowers a smaller, weaker person to stand up to a larger, stronger aggressor. This foundational story infuses the art with a unique spirit. It's not about dominating others or proving one's strength. It's about preserving oneself, about finding the intelligence and courage to protect what is valuable. It is a quiet confidence, a humble strength that makes it profoundly different from many of its counterparts. An art is only as strong as the people who carry it forward. For Wing Chun, its survival and growth depended on a line of dedicated masters who preserved its secrets and passed them down. After Yim Wing Chun, the art was passed to her husband, Leung Bok Chau. From there, it moved through a series of practitioners, often within a close-knit community in the city of Foshan in southern China. One of the most important figures in this lineage was a man named Leung Jian. He was a respected herbal doctor who became so famous for his Wing Chun skill that he was known as the King of Wing Chun. Leung Jian was not a professional fighter, he was a scholar and a physician, but his mastery of the art was said to be unparalleled. Stories tell of numerous challenges from other martial artists who came to test his skill. He was known for his calm demeanor and his ability to end fights almost before they began, often without seriously injuring his opponents. He demonstrated that Wing Chun was not just for brawlers, but for intelligent, disciplined individuals. He took on very few students, choosing to pass his knowledge on carefully to ensure the art's integrity was maintained. One of Leung Jian's most notable students was Chan Hua Shun. Because he exchanged currency for a living, he was nicknamed Hua the Money Changer. Chan Hua Shun was a large and powerful man, which was unusual for a Wing Chun expert. He had to learn to refine his natural strength and combine it with the subtle techniques of the art. He became a formidable fighter and eventually took over as the head of the lineage. Unlike his teacher, Chan Hua Shun opened a school and began to teach Wing Chun more openly. This was a critical step in bringing the once secretive art to a wider audience. It was Chan Hua Shun who, late in his life, accepted his final and most famous student. He was an old man by then, and the student was just a young boy. The fee to learn from the great master was very high, but the boy's wealthy family was able to pay it. This young boy would go on to become perhaps the most important Wing Chun grandmaster of the 20th century. He would be the one to take the art from the quiet city of Foshan and spread it across the entire world. His name was IP Man, and his life would change the destiny of Wing Chun forever. Every story has a moment that launches it into the stratosphere. For Wing Chun, that moment was a person, Bruce Lee. Before he became a global movie star and a martial arts icon, he was a teenager in Hong Kong looking for a way to defend himself. He found his way to the school of Grandmaster IP Man. Lee was a dedicated, almost obsessive student. He absorbed the principles of Wing Chun, the directness, the efficiency, the centerline theory, and they became the foundation upon which he would later build his own martial philosophy, Jeet Kune Do. Bruce Lee's early training was pure Wing Chun. He spent countless hours practicing the forms, drilling the techniques, and, most importantly, engaging in Chi Sao, the sticking hands exercise. It was here that he honed the incredible sensitivity and reflexes that would later stun audiences around the world. IP Man saw the young man's potential, but also his aggressive nature. Through his teachings, he tried to instill in Lee not just the physical techniques, but the philosophical discipline of control and calm that is central to the art. This relationship between teacher and student became legendary, a classic tale of an old master guiding a gifted but impulsive prodigy. When Bruce Lee moved to America and later became a Hollywood star, he introduced Wing Chun concepts to a massive international audience. In his movies, you can see the art's influence everywhere. The rapid-fire chain punching, the short-range trapping and blocking, these were all born from his Wing Chun roots. He famously described his own art as the art of fighting without fighting, a sentiment that echoes the Wing Chun principle of using an opponent's energy against them. He was a walking, talking advertisement for the effectiveness and intelligence of the system he had learned from IP Man. Because of Bruce Lee, millions of people who had never even heard of Wing Chun suddenly wanted to learn it. Enrollment in Wing Chun schools exploded around the globe. People saw on the big screen what was possible, and they wanted a piece of that power and confidence for themselves. While Lee went on to create his own system, he never lost respect for his foundation. He made Wing Chun famous, transforming it from a relatively obscure Chinese martial art into a global phenomenon. He was the spark that lit the fire, and the world of martial arts has never been the same. Today, on September 11th, 2025, Wing Chun is practiced by people in every corner of the globe. From Hong Kong to London, from New York to Sydney, you can find schools dedicated to preserving and teaching the art. The modern training hall, or Kwun, looks very different from the secretive schools of the past. It is a place of community where people from all walks of life come together. Men and women, young and old, doctors, artists and students, all stand side by side, united by their shared journey in the art. The focus remains on the original principles, but the environment is open and welcoming. A typical class begins with a warm-up, followed by the practice of the foundational forms. The first form, Sionim Tao, or Little Idea, is practiced slowly, almost like a meditation. It teaches the basic hand positions and the importance of correct structure and relaxation. As students progress, they learn more complex forms and, crucially, they begin partner drills. The heart of the class is often spent on exercises like Chi Sao, where students develop the sensitivity and reflexes that are the hallmark of Wing Chun. This hands-on training is essential for understanding how to apply the techniques in a dynamic situation. One of the greatest benefits people discover is its practicality for self-defense. Wing Chun is not about sport, it is about survival. The techniques are designed to work in realistic situations where there are no rules and your safety is on the line. Students learn how to defend against common attacks, how to use their environment to their advantage, and how to control a situation quickly and efficiently. This provides a profound sense of security and confidence. Knowing you have the ability to protect yourself and your loved ones is an empowering feeling that carries over into all aspects of life. Beyond the physical, the practice of Wing Chun offers deep mental and emotional benefits. The focus required to learn the techniques trains the mind to be calm and present. The philosophy of yielding and redirecting energy can be applied to everyday problems, teaching a person how to navigate conflicts at work or in personal relationships with less stress and more control. It builds discipline, patience, and resilience. Students often find that they become not just better fighters, but calmer, more confident, and more centered human beings. The modern school is a laboratory for self-improvement, forging strength both inside and out. The story of Wing Chun is a remarkable journey. It is the story of an art born from a legend of rebellion and survival, whispered in secret for generations. It was carried forward by a line of dedicated grandmasters who protected its flame. It was then rocketed to global fame by its most famous student, Bruce Lee. And today it flourishes as a worldwide community, a testament to its enduring principles. The legacy of Wing Chun is not just in its techniques, but in its philosophy, the idea that intelligence can overcome brute force, that calm can conquer chaos, and that anyone can find strength within themselves. Its influence can be seen far beyond the walls of the training hall. Wing Chun's principles have been studied by military and law enforcement agencies around the world who value its efficiency in close-quarters combat. Its concepts have even found their way into Hollywood movies, where fight choreographers use its direct, explosive movements to create realistic and exciting action sequences. The art has become a part of our global culture, recognized by millions who may have never even stepped into a martial arts school. It is a symbol of a different kind of strength, one that is smart, subtle, and incredibly effective. The true legacy, however, lives on in the individual students. It lives in the young woman who walks home with more confidence at night. It lives in the older man who finds a new sense of vitality and community. It lives in the busy professional who finds a moment of peace and focus in the practice of a form. Wing Chun provides a path for people to better themselves, to become stronger, safer, and more centered. It is a gift passed down from Ng Mui and Yim Wing Chun, a tool for empowerment that is just as relevant today as it was centuries ago. And so, the quiet art that began in the mountains of southern China continues to echo around the world. Its story is still being written every time a new student bows and enters the Kwun for the first time. It is a living, breathing tradition that connects the past to the present and offers a timeless lesson. It teaches us that we do not have to be the biggest or the strongest to be powerful. We just need to be smart, to be patient, and to understand that the most direct path is often the one that leads to true mastery. This is the enduring and beautiful legacy of Wing Chun.